you're saying that mortgage rates are going to come down.
They have to come down because inflation's coming down.
Barry, some people will say you're talking like a mortgage broker, which
I'm not,
you were
I'm not
a hell of a good one. You were with GMAC National Sales Director. The last time you stopped doing loans was 2007. You're like one of the greatest LOs that we've had in the market. So a lot of time when realtors or loan officers say that, you're in the space. The counter argument to that would be, okay, we saw what happened when we made money pretty much cheap for 12 years. And then we try to get off of it. It didn't work for us to do that. And right now, some will still say a lot of properties are overvalued. The amount of how much home values have increased compared to income has increased, it doesn't match. The saving doesn't increase so people can't afford to buy a house at today's price.
I have a chart for that to show you that it's a little bit of an interesting scenario. It's not that right now the affordability is worse, but the affordability will improve though, Patrick. There's
how?
Okay, a couple of things. First on this chart.
Isn't when you say affordability, forget about the charts for a second. Isn't it when you say affordability will improve?
This year.
Okay, so you know what that means to me? That's a very nice way of saying you're about to lose equity in your home. Your property value is going to go down.
I think that actually we probably will see about 3% nationwide appreciation this year because the level of inventory, it's just so tight. We saw already in January when rates dropped to about 6% that there were multiple offers around the country.
I'm not seeing that, though. And I'll tell you.
In January, we saw it. This month, it slowed back.
But I'm going to tell you, from a buyer standpoint, I'm not seeing that. From a buyer standpoint, I'm not seeing that. I'm seeing from the buyer standpoint, minus 500,000, minus 1 million, minus 200,000. They lowered it by another 299,000. They lowered it by 300,000.
No, well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, always will be specific incidences. Obviously, you're right on the specific instances. Yeah. But if you go by the numbers, let's just say from the FHFA or from Case-Shiller, the seasonally adjusted numbers show that real estate values from the very peak after 121 consecutive month rise are down 1% from FHFA, 2.7% from Case-Shiller. Those are the numbers from Case-Shiller. And those are the best two sources that we have.
You know what a seller will say? A seller will say, Barry, I hope you're right. But how come I'm not getting any offers of qualified buyers today?
Because
I hope you're right.
They're hibernating with 7% rates, but that's why this is so important.
But you can't. But for you to say, guys, let's lower the rates, it's all going to work itself out. That's the problem. The problem isn't for the Powell is sitting there saying, I get what you're saying, Barry. I understand what you're saying. A lot of loan officers are getting crushed right now. A lot of realtors are getting crushed right now. I get it, but I can't do this right now.
But he doesn't control mortgage rates, Pat. He does not. Mortgage rates are going to trade and follow inflation. Long-term investors, the short end of the curve, 100%. All the short end will follow that, but the long end of the curve won't. That's fair, but that's kind of like my kid saying, Dad, trust me, I'm going to read 100 pages this week. Let me play iPad on Monday. I'm telling you I'm going to read 100 pages by the end of the week because I'm going to read it. Just let me play iPad on Monday. I'm like, no, that's not how life works. First, read 100 pages. Then I'll let you play iPad, right? First, let's lower inflation. Then lower. That's why it's so important because inflation on a year-over-year basis, it has been stubborn because the comparisons from shelter have propped it up, but also the comparisons from where we were a year ago were relatively high. If we take a look, the date that you should be circling is May 10th on your calendar. That's when we get the inflation data. That begins a string of information.
May 10th.
May 10th.
Okay.
A string of inflation data that will be lower, replacing higher inflation data from the previous year. It will bring the year-over-year numbers down, and we'll get the shelter costs.
Barry, trust me, everybody wants you to be right. I'm not sitting here saying I don't want you to be right. I want you to be right. But the market is seeing other things. The market right now, when it comes down to buying car, the national car payment right now is $911 or $920. Just 2 years ago, it was $575. How the hell is the average American able to go to that? So rates on $1 million loan 2 years ago, the payment was nothing. Today on $1 million loan at the rates that I'm getting, if I got a 750 credit score, if I can show everything, it's nearly 50x higher. These are
and income is not increasing.
No, income is.
By 50%?
But it doesn't have to because you don't use all of your income to qualify for it. So a couple of points. Income, according to ADP, went up 7.2% year over year.
Car payment went up nearly 100%.
You're 100% right.
College is 500%.
Guys, I agree with you. I'm not disagreeing with you. It is less affordable. However, in an equivalent state of affordability, you had 20% appreciation. I'm saying 3% appreciation, and predominantly due because you have such unbelievably record low inventory. There's 578,000 units for sale in this country.
I tell you what, here's what I'm going to tell you. You're so good, I'm going to do my next refinance with you. Okay?
I don't do loans. I
no,
haven't
you
done
don't. I'm saying this one you may want to do. It's going to be a decent one. But no. So,
Bear, are you getting nominated for another Crystal Ball award? How does this work?
Well, look. Well, let's see what happens, right, with rates. Look, nobody knows for sure. Of course. Could I be wrong? Of course I could be wrong. However, to me, when I look at something like this and I say, okay, it appears that inflation should be coming down. Historically, mortgage rates or all long rates always follow inflation.
What I hope happens with Jerome Powell, I hope he doesn't break. Okay, that's my fear. I hope he doesn't break. You know what I said today on the call when all these guys are saying, but Patrick. I said, listen, is it fair to say that a crisis happened last week to the economy? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it did. How the hell is the market up on Monday? Tell me when in your life something bad happened in your life and you got rewarded the next day. I don't. Do you realize how that makes no sense? There needs to be. If I don't go to school, like it's kind of like me going to school and I skip 2 weeks straight. I don't even go to class. I don't know what my homework is. Hey, Ms. Taylor, how are things? Well, Patrick, great job because your grade went from 72% to 91%. How the hell did my grade go up? I didn't come to school last 2 weeks. That's what's going on right now. This is where the average person watches the market and says, I got to tell you, man, this is exactly what I want to have nothing to do with finance. I'm going to go freaking be a construction worker. I'm going to go be a I'm going to go be a plumber. Forget this stuff here. So you mean to tell me the 16th biggest bank in America goes out of business and on Monday, rather than people panicking, they say, bye. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.